cis men can't, don't, do not. The language, I would imagine, is important, and it does send a message.
I want to show you something here. So the NDP, which is the, I think, official at this point, Gender and Race Communist Party of Canada, used to be like a working class union party. Now, gender and race communism, that's all they really need. Continues to be the most embarrassing political party of all time. So this is from Alex Zoltan. They're now limiting nominations from cis men in their leadership race. So here is the interim, the temporary leader of the NDP, who has actually done a pretty good job. This guy here, Don Davies.
Introduction.
Of course, he's the interim leader of the Gender and Race Communist Party. So, I don't think it's going to work out for him long term. He would like to be the leader of the federal NDP. I don't think it's going to work out. We'll get to that in a second. But he harkens back to another age, another time of NDP politicians, more like Jack Layton, who were appealing to working class people, to union people. Here he is here during the Air Canada strike, working as the temporary leader, interim leader of the NDP. This is what the party used to be before Jagmeet Singh.
Everybody gave concessions to this company when they needed it. You signed.
So this is boilerplate, union stuff, socialist stuff, but it's what the party is supposed to be, what it always was before it became, before it became this. So that's the last leader, Jagmeet Singh. There he is. And I guess Mark Carney got jealous. I think this is the same guy here. Maybe they both know him. I don't know. Maybe they both met him at the dog park. No idea. But so this is the last leader of the NDP. So doesn't scream working class union, does it? It screams, I don't know, gender communism, I guess. Let's see. We also have him here telling us about how much he doesn't like older white men. So, yeah, not so much the, working class union thing.
To be really blunt, I've seen a lot of older white men fail upwards again and again. And that is just going to continue unless we actually try to.
Older white men fail upwards again and again. Unlike Jagmeet, he never failed upwards. This is just racism. This is just anti-white racism from a racist, from a race communist. All right. So they lost 10 points in the last election because of him. And that the vast majority of that 10% of the vote went to Mark Carney, which is why he won the election. Now, if the NDP really wanted to be relevant again, they'd get a guy like this. And just old school, this is boilerplate, union stuff. That's what the party's supposed to be. He'd get a lot of those a lot of that NDP vote that left and went to the Liberals, he'd get them back. And already he is. They've gone up 4 points. So if they were smart, they would just say, you know what, let's go back to our roots. Let's get this guy. I don't see it happening because he's not like a full-on gender race communist. I'm sure he supports all of that, but that's not his main thing. And he doesn't look the part either. Let's face it, he's a white man. So in their leadership contest, their leadership selection process, you have to get 500 signatures for the nomination. And they have to be across the country. But they have a rule now, the NDP, that only half of those 500 signatures of NDP members nominating you, only half of those can be from cis men. So in other words, men, right? Just normal men, only half. It's very gender and it's certainly very gender communist, isn't it? It's very equity, which is the exact same thing. Here Vassey is kind of grilling him on it a little bit, actually. Now, there's other things that they need to. You need $100,000, and you have to sign a bunch of like loyalty, progressive ideological statements as well. But let's watch this.
This week, I think arguably the biggest headline out of the official launch of the leadership race was that rule I mentioned in the introduction, that basically the requirement that at least 50% of the total required signatures must be from members who do not identify as a cis man. But do you get how that headline landed?
Yeah, and I don't share that sort of line from the media on that. There's a difference between identity politics and inclusion. And, you know, all parties have rules in their
Identity politics and inclusion, there's not a difference. It's actually exactly the same thing. Functionally, they mean the same thing. But let's let him continue.
leadership races. So I think inclusion is a very, very vital component of our leadership race. And it's the way that you're going to get diverse policies and
Kind of seems like they're excluding, though, doesn't it? Doesn't it seem like it's excluding? I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I assumed that the NDP didn't have a rule against non-men, in the nominating process. I assume they didn't.
include as many people from all walks of life in this country in the very important decisions we're going to have to make moving forward.
But if you want more young people to vote or more young people to participate, do you say to old people that they shouldn't? It's the negative connotation, right? It's like cis men can't, don't, do not. The language, I would imagine, is important, and it does send a message.
Right. But again, that with respect, that interpretation is wrong. There is no.
No, it's explicitly discriminatory. Explicitly so. It's written in it. It's right there. It's obvious. Everybody knows what it means. Stop trying to spin it. And by the way, you're not going to get the job. I'm sorry. You're a middle-aged white guy. They're not going to let you full-time officially lead the gender race communist party. It's going to be a tree with a face painted on it or a photograph of a cloud that looks vaguely like Greta Thunberg. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Please like, share, and subscribe. Subscribing really helps me out. I thank you for that. I will see you next time.